Good
Okay.
evening, good evening, good evening.
Hello, everyone,
And you.
and you, and you, the person watching this.
Yeah, so this is likely the fifth time we're trying to record this particular episode. Not in terms of the topic, but in terms of just finding the time for it.
Yeah, until
There's
like 3 minutes ago, we planned a different topic, but then Em convinced me to do this one.
I I need to vent.
I need to do damage control for his venting.
By the way, something's odd with your microphone.
But it's still better than my cell phone, right?
No, it's absolutely. I would like change nothing as far as I'm concerned, but I'm just saying
Oh.
it's still a bit inferior, even though the camera is top notch.
Yeah, no. The camera, if it has proper lighting, is.
Yes, exactly. How you been?
Stressed, drained, moving very soon. The next recording will probably be with the change of scenery.
That would be
My,
interesting.
I want to show. I carried my entire icon corner yesterday. It was the heaviest thing I have brought from my apartment.
Not the
And
books, it's supposed to be the books.
oh no. Okay, I have a system. See,
Mm.
okay, because I do not live that far from my parents. I plan that every time I visit them, I bring something that's not essential to my place, so I wouldn't have to carry books because there's a
Can I say
lot of them.
something?
Yes.
So this was my brother's idea as well when he initially moved. He moved from my father's apartment uh, more than a decade ago, I think.
Okay.
And these things are still there,
I know.
And there's a room in my father's apartment which is big and completely not suitable for him and his uh, unwedded wife, um, better half, whatever. But it's a kind of a situation with family which is like unresolved, and this room serves basically as a warehouse for mostly my brother's stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of mine, which I put there later on because I actually have an
Mm-hmm.
office right next to that
Mm-hmm.
room. And but yeah, long story. Yeah, long story. Sounds like you've been going through a tough time actually.
Well, I did exceptionally tough time, and okay, a couple of things. Right now, my icon corner here in this room is lacking because I took all of the painted icons. So on the nails, I hanged a couple of laminated icons I have. So it's not like, you know, for
I thought you said lemonade, and I'm like
I did.
laminated.
Yeah,
You mean like
Kashirane.
laminated? Because it sounds like
Yeah.
like
Ah, laminated.
laminate. You have to prolong the A. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So now my icon corner is lacking, but still it does not evoke that, oh, there's something missing because there are icons in there. However, I must say, I have been refurbishing my new apartment for over a year. And it's looking very nice and everything, but only when I brought in the icons and I started hanging them,
Yeah.
it finally got life into it, and I'm so happy. And whoever's watching this episode, I need to check what's her name. I think it's Cross Stitch Art on Etsy. Okay, I have to check. I have to sign in and everything.
Cross-stitch art is an alias for monastery icons.
God forbid. God forbid. Okay, Cross Stitch Art is not alias for Cross Stitch Art. Where are the? I can't find the. I can't
I
find
don't know.
the.
I'm confused. What's wrong with you Orthodox buying icons online? That's not how you buy icons.
Yeah, but you need. How else are you going to get them in the US? What? Go to your next door iconographer, 3 states across. What? You know?
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I forgive you, U.S. based Orthodox.
Yeah. So that is the best way how they can obtain. Oh, okay, fine. Cross Stitcher Shop. Okay, Cross Stitcher Shop by Stephanie McCoy. And I have actually ordered a cross stitch Orthodox cross. It's so beautiful. I have immediately put it in my, like, I want to say entrance hallway, but it really makes it sound way bigger than it is. It's an entrance, very small room, a vestibule, if you will. So, I
A
love,
submarine.
yeah, no, I love making
Okay.
up words like to the drawing room next to the library. I also love the expression drawing room. I have been reading a lot of like Gothic fiction, and you're
Yeah.
exposed to all of these fancy names for rooms.
Man, you know what? I'm actually back on reading Ivo Andrić.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Nobel Prize winner from the Balkans. He's of Serbian descent
Mm-hmm.
and like crazy good.
Oh yeah,
Not easy to read because he's like
dead.
you just can't help yourself as always. Sometimes, sometimes. Um. So onwards to the topic of this video.
Oh boy.
You know what? The time has come for me to defend a friend of mine. And I would never, in 15 million lifetimes, think I would need to defend him from my fellow Orthodox Christians. I mean, to me, it is so ridiculous that we are even having this conversation, but we are gonna have it. Okay? We've been not having this conversation because we just don't. B over here doesn't want to, bring on any more drama or hate, which I perfectly understand. But B here is not M over here. So I've decided to say my piece, and I think this is the best platform because this friend of mine is actually sitting in this virtual room. And
Uh, if I can chip in, this is solely his doing. Our initial episode was us commenting on fruit. And then he was like, I need to rant. And like, no, let's not do this. And like, because I know how people online will think, hey, Bible Illustrated wanted to say something, but he didn't want to say it personally. So
I don't care. No, I don't care. I don't care. Like,
well, it's good that
like
you don't care.
This is the same. Like, this is the same. And I've been thinking about this many a times. So this is the same as somebody hating on you or your content or whatever, and then hating on me by affiliation. Like, if you're that kind of a person, nothing I say or anybody else says will change that. So,
True.
And it's on you. Thumbs up. So, first of all,
okay, let's actually go what caused this.
yes, exactly.
If I can,
yes.
okay, I can find. Okay, some introduction. I have been member of Digital Orthodoxy Discord server that's run by Father Basil Warren.
He's an IT guy. I know.
Yeah. I call him Warrenfels. I can't remember his last name. Excuse me, Father Basil.
Western right?
He might be. I don't remember. I know that he's an IT guy. He's a watercolor guy. He's a motorist guy.
Drives a motorbike, and he's a Western right. 100% sure.
Okay.
Like canonical Western right, something Russian church, something adjacent.
Yeah, and he writes like, and he's in the process of creating this really comprehensive Orthodox catechism. So, and I'm the member of his Orthodox Discord. So I wanted, as a recent, because I was so busy with moving and everything, I thought like, hey, let me like reconnect with online Orthodox people. I let that part slide and everything. So
One thing to add: I am not a part of any such Christian or Christian community, and
yeah,
I've been avoiding being a part of such a Christian community because of my experience with various local Viber groups, which turn into crazy things, which I will gladly discuss. And I've heard from different sources that there's a bunch of like these Christian Orthodox Christian Discord servers where people debate literally all day long, and I was like, yeah, that's not for me.
yeah,
I don't learn from debates. I just don't. I don't find value in debates because, well, correction, I find value in debates when they're done in good spirit. I can actually show you debates that I've watched, not Christian or religious topics, almost zero,
mhm,
that were done in good spirit, and I've learned worlds,
yeah, yeah,
worlds of information that helped me further develop me as myself as a person. So just putting that out there, just so that you understand where I'm coming from.
mhm,
I'm like not participating in these things at all, but there's a small spark of interest somewhere.
yeah. Myself, I mean, I did engage in debates when I was younger, usually on internet forums, but over time,
I remember that forum.
no, not only that one. No. That wasn't the forum I was debating
Yeah,
mostly.
okay, but I did not like that forum.
I know. It had the reputation of being a liberal forum.
Yeah, and I'm like the traddest trad of all
Uh,
trads ever.
by the way, when I say a liberal forum, people will immediately think like gay marriage and female ordination. No, it was like maybe the priest should read the liturgical prayers out loud. That was what made it,
Yeah,
liberal.
I'm like still against that.
I'm still very much for it.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't be on the
So,
same page every time.
so back to Digital Orthodoxy Discord server, which is great. And if you're watching this and you want to, be a part of an additional Orthodox server, I suggest that one. So I found through Digital Orthodoxy one Orthodox Discord. I won't say which one it is. It's not the biggest one if you're guessing. So I join it, and
Doesn't matter which one it is.
yeah. So but people might assume which one I'm talking about, and it's not. It's probably not the one you know. So there's a vetting system there. You have to fill in the questionnaire, and the administration needs to let you in. I do all of that. I get inside, and I say hi everybody, and a couple of people recognize me. They say, hi, how are you? And I'm like, fine. And some people like, hey, do you plan to make videos on this subject or that subject? Do you plan to make videos on toddlers? And I'm like, sure, well, maybe, not. And as I'm typing an answer to one woman, I'm suddenly banned, literally, for saying hi, hello, and I get this message. You were banned from Discord name. Reason? Just going to save us all the trouble. My community, being very traditional community, is not fond of your work, and your presence here will only cause strife. God bless. I mean, that's the tone that I have inserted.
But you forgot to mention a couple of important things.
No.
In the meantime, I joined the server.
Yeah, that too.
Because B wrote to me, hey, I just joined a new Orthodox Discord server. It seems like it's only in the beginning. It's small.
Yeah.
It's growing, and it seems decent. And I was like, okay, now is the time. Can you send me a link?
Yeah.
And I've joined. I went through that vetting system, which was, I find it a bit funny, to be honest. Like somebody like vetting me to join like a public forum. But okay, you're joining a community somebody built, and you respect the rules. And it was pretty clear. Like there's I didn't know Discord actually works like that, and I'm impressed. And I'm gonna tamper with it, of course, because I see you can program Discord very, very much in terms of how people get in, how people do things, etc., etc. And I've read the rules, and the rules were very clear. Like we're not talking guidelines, we're talking rules.
Yeah.
And one of the parts of the vetting system was, do you accept these rules? And I was like 100%. I like this. And one of the rules was like, debates are okay, but in a very specific,
Yeah, you had to go to a specific part of the Discord, which is
perfect. I love the fact that the rules actually address this, because that means I don't have to go there, and that's pretty much it. And so I immediately started, talking to people, and I find it
nice.
I find it nice. I started talking about seeing if there's any like Russian speaking people, because I'd love to be in a position to like speak Russian again and connect and stuff like that. And especially like, come on, connecting with Orthodox Christians around the world, that's like awesome, like in itself, the idea behind. And then I see like suddenly somebody says, did Bible Illustrated just leave the Discord? And then somebody else wrote that he was actually like kicked out. So then it hit me like is this for real? Like I was there, like he didn't break any rules. It's very clear, right? So, and then I looked at who the admins were, and I immediately noticed that one of the admins is like a catechumen, like he's not even Orthodox Christian,
which is like that.
which is like, okay, you're not a lower being or anything, but come on, if it's a community of Orthodox Christians, should at least be an Orthodox Christian. But okay, I mean, I don't mind, but then B told me what the reason was. Somebody wrote to him,
I don't like you.
My community is very traditional, and I'm saving us all the trouble, and I'm kicking your beep out. So here's my full thoughts on this. I'm gonna censor that. Here's my full thoughts on this. First of all, you're building a community of Orthodox Christians. Bravo. So do you or do you not want God to be a part of this community? Because do you read the Bible? Doesn't God tell you how to behave with your neighbors? How to treat your neighbors? And this guy over here, he's 99% closer to you than any other freaking human being in the world, being Orthodox Christian just like you. Are you crazy? Are you setting yourself up for failure? Again, do you want Christ to be a part of your community? Because the way you treat people will determine if Christ is going to be a part of your community. Do you not understand that? Whoever you are, person who just did that. And the rant. Going back to Nice Milosh. Sorry, Nice Sam. We don't use our names.
Can I say how the mentality of these people works?
Sure. I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but I'm giving you my personal opinion the way it is. Like, it's in the Bible. You just need to read it. Like, you don't know. When you feed the poor, you fed Christ. When you treat somebody as bad as you just treated my friend, you did that to Christ.
Okay. The problem here is how the mindset here works. First of all, he probably does not perceive me as an Orthodox Christian. He probably my
next step in defending you. Let's talk about that.
But he probably perceives me as a heretic, or somebody who's out to undermine Orthodoxy, or somebody who has malignant effect on Orthodoxy. which gives him the right to treat me however he wants. That is the general gist I have felt throughout internet orthodoxy in the last 3 or 4 years. This was not a trend before then. I do not know what has happened, but the fact of the matter is, you know, we will speak later about the Tollhouses because you wanted to me to comment on some of those things. And while I was researching about Tollhouses, I saw this forum thread discussing Tollhouses from about 10 years ago, maybe 9. And like people were discussing them. There was no bad blood. There was no name calling. There was no, this is impossible to do today. Like, you know, like, I can't even describe it. Like, I do not know even if it's possible to have a civil discussion about this, you know. And if I, who am not really pro Tollhouse, but I'm not anti Tollhouse either.
I don't know what that is, by the way.
Tollhouse.
That's the thing people created. Like that's the thing aggressive people talking about Orthodox Christianity have created. And it's ridiculous, but I'll go back to it. I'm writing it down.
Okay.
Toll houses. Oh my God, I can't even believe people are having these discussions, but it's fine. We'll do it.
Okay.
We'll have a toll houses discussion.
Okay. Okay.
Toll houses.
This was supposed to be the fruit episode.
I know, but it's hard. Like I am super annoyed as to how my fellow Orthodox Christians behave online. It is ridiculous. The aggressiveness.
None of them were.
Oh my God.
None of them were baptized Orthodox for even 10 years, not even 5 years.
No, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care about that.
No. I know.
I asked for respect, you know, when I was like 2 years into Orthodox Christianity, which was like 2009, 2008.
Remember what you were like when you were like just getting into Orthodox. I remember what I was like when I was getting into Orthodox.
You might even remember the way I was like, but fact is,
yes,
I haven't changed much in terms of the way I believe, my faith. You know, the only thing that I'm 100% certain that has changed is the way I treat others.
But that's the important thing that I'm aiming at. You know.
Okay. Good point, but let me get back to that.
Okay.
You know, beginnings.
This is precisely the reason why the church does not permit teaching roles to young people, primarily that of the office of a priest, because things like this will happen because young people are full of fiery zeal, and that has a good side. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I have
to say something. Mm-hmm. I have to say something because if I don't say it, the stones are gonna start screaming it. So to anybody, and I really hope like this video will get to some of these people. Anybody who thinks that Be Over Here, Bible Illustrated, is a heretic, undermining orthodoxy, something like that. You think that not only of him, but you think that of the church he regularly attends. He's a reader in a church. The priests who serve the divine liturgy, the bishop who blesses these priests to serve the divine liturgy. In this particular case, that's the patriarch of the Serbian Orthodox Church. So what you're saying is ridiculous. The church has hierarchy, and heresy is being fought by the church. I'm gonna let that sink in. The Orthodox Christian Church is not a Protestant church. It's more similar to Catholics in terms of there is a hierarchy. There is a freaking church court dealing with these things. So you saying these things, you thinking these things, you know what? You are ridiculous.
Okay.
You are ridiculous.
Okay. Now let's not get you know.
Fair enough. I said I was gonna rant.
Okay. You know, thing is,
It's like I believe in
every
the
time.
one holy apostolic church, but then I don't think the church is really dealing with this guy very well because he's a heretic. Have you reported him to his bishop?
I think that a lot of issue comes with the fact that a lot of people think that toll houses are a dogma, whereas in fact they're not.
Well, you think you know orthodoxy and you don't know how to deal with a heretic.
No. Let me
We'll
put
talk
it.
about that.
Let me put it why toll houses simply aren't a dogma. Uh, let us say that God isn't the Trinity. Is there anything in the church that would change? Is it? We're going to have to change the creed. We would have to change all of the prayers. We would have to change the iconography. Okay, let us say that Christ never had a physical body, that it was a mere illusion. Out goes the incarnation, out go the icons, out goes the incense, out goes maybe even the Eucharist, and definitely the Eucharist, unless we're taking the imaginary bread and the imaginary wine that are the imaginary real body of Jesus Christ, and so on. Let us say that souls are unconscious after death. Then the entire intercession of saints goes away. However, let us say that toll houses simply aren't a thing, that they do not exist. What changes? Literally nothing. Is there still a particular judgment? Yes, there is. Toll houses aren't the sole model of the particular judgment.
Some prayers would change.
Yeah, but those
many acathis would change.
I wouldn't say many. I mean,
acathis would change.
Yeah, but to be honest, I haven't even seen them in the acathis a whole lot. There is that general prayer to saints at the end of some acathis that references them. However, yeah, but only that, like a couple of prayers here or there, but not like your everyday life. I mean, nothing, essentially. So somebody might say, well, we would stop praying for people until the 40th day when supposedly the travel through the toll house ends. But then again, this needs not be true, because again, we have the vision of Saint Macarius, where he is explained why do we pray for people on the 3rd day, on the 7th day, on the 40th day, on the 12th day, and so on. And there's no mention of the toll houses. So there's still a model why we pray for people on these specific days that does not necessarily include the toll houses. Okay, that's simply my thoughts why this isn't a dogma. You can be perfectly orthodox and absolutely not believe in them. And I want to...
And this is important. This is right here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in toll houses. Very simple. I believe in toll houses. And then let me now ponder, let me wonder now. Mm-hmm. Like, how do toll houses influence my Christian life?
Okay.
0. I don't think about them. No. I don't think about them. I think about fulfilling commandments. I think about being obedient to my spiritual father, being obedient to God, essentially, being a good person, but not like, the lame, good person Christian. No, the way the church teaches me, and thinking about the end of life and passing into what's next. Like, isn't our life the road to becoming saint? To becoming like God, to be given that by God? Isn't our life going to that? Or is it going to like a judgment? I'm just not thinking of it like that. Like, there's gonna be a judgment. There's gonna be a judgment, and I'm working on being able to respond to anything that I might be asked. Mm-hmm. Now, is it being done through a 40-day period? Traveling through air the way the toll houses are described, which I subscribe to myself, or is it done in another way? I don't see that influencing the way I think, the way I behave. I'm not gonna be like, okay, let's see what the 15 toll houses are. Did I do this wrong? Did I do that wrong? It's like it reminds me of that like notebook for confession, you know, where there's a list where they list like 15 million different supposed sins, and you're like, okay, I did this, I did that, I did this, did it, like preparing yourself for confession. I see that as artificial. I see that as artificial, because not everybody's the same. Not everybody fits the same pattern. Yeah. So again, I subscribe to Tollhouses. That's the way I was taught. That's what the prayers are teaching me, and I'm perfectly fine with them. But I'm also perfectly fine with somebody questioning them, because why not? Nothing really changes if they question it, right? They're not questioning if Jesus Christ is God, you know. And I've watched a couple of videos by different people talking about Tollhouses, and one thing that kind of hit me was this: Tollhouses is dogma, and you have to proclaim this or you're not an Orthodox Christian, was literally what was said. And I'm like, you have to proclaim this? Why not write to your bishop and ask them to change the creed? Because that's what we're proclaiming. For God's sake, it's the creed that we're proclaiming. Not the Tollhouses, it's the creed. Okay? So that's what I get.
Losing it there, but
I get annoyed at how people justify being aggressive to who, fellow Orthodox Christians. Like, if there's a level of somebody being your neighbor, right? The Orthodox Christian is your first neighbor, like a family, and then Orthodox Christians. You know all those prayers, everyday prayers. How do you start? How do you end your morning prayer? If you are an Orthodox Christian, I hope you prayed the morning prayer. How do you end it?
Oh, thank God it's over.
No, yeah. Again, you can't help yourself. I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to make it.
You couldn't resist.
I'm gonna cut it out because my flow. People never saw me this angry.
Okay, but I have to say one of my favorite things I have ever seen is like this photograph. Maybe it's fake, but it's so good. Like, during Mass, we gather as a family to glorify our Father in heaven. Draw the image of your favorite part of the Mass, and there's like a rectangle, there's like grass, there's a house with a cross, and they're like these two stick figures. Bye.
Yeah, no, but I've actually never had the feeling. I honestly never had the feeling like when.
No, me neither.
When I do the morning prayer, like the day starts perfectly.
Likewise.
Okay. But yeah, just reminding you guys of the very ending when you're praying for other people. How does it start? It starts by you praying for the clergy, and then praying for your family and friends, and then all Orthodox Christians. That's how the Divine Liturgy ends. All Orthodox Christians. Does it mention all people in the world? Nope. Does it mention your fellow countrymen? Nope. It mentions your fellow Orthodox Christians. So when we're talking about who's your neighbor, that's who your neighbor is. That's who your neighbor is. By the way, I'm not angry. I am a bit
perturbed.
Okay, but I'm mostly just in disbelief, and I'm reacting to the way I feel about how some people are treating other Orthodox Christians. And this is how I debate. This energy that you're seeing for me, this is how I debate. And that's the reason why I hate debates. Well, one of the reasons why I hate debates. Because they mostly turn into somebody trying to prove they're right, not really caring about the truth. I've been to many debates. Like, invited to be professional debater myself in a debate club, which I refused with 15 exclamation marks. But I did win the first and only one in that context. The point is, I'm shocked as an Orthodox Christian. By the way, very traditional Orthodox Christian. Like, to people claiming they're part of, traditional communities, I dare you do an interview with me and prove you're more traditional than me. I dare you. Like, seriously, I never say these things. I dare you prove that you're more traditional than me. Because a lot of people call B over here like modern, ecumenist, or whatever, which is all. And B and
but
B and I are like very much not on the same page in terms of the things that we'd like or dislike about the church and about the religion that we both subscribe to. Like, we're very different. But, like, again, I dare you. Prove that you're more traditional than me. I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to. But fair enough. Because I was, for some time, I was afraid, quote unquote afraid, like concerned, if people would, by affiliation, attach the same tags they attach to you, to me.
Yeah, it's simply how human mind works.
Yeah, but you knowing me, would that make any sense? Even remotely, any sense?
Mm.
You don't like this episode?
No, I like it. But how does one measure how much one is tread?
Well, again, I mean, I can.
Okay. I mean, if you have a method, okay.
To me, it goes like this, right? There's a couple of things that are generally thought of as modernistic or ecumenist, and there's the opposite of that, which is generally thought to be traditional. And then there's a couple of levels which are beyond this in both directions, where I think people are just 100% prelist, like 100% prelist, which is like specifically being very aggressive with proclaiming whatever they believe it's right. And mostly you will see that. I'm pretty sure you've seen that already. It really, really, these kind of people, they constantly attack somebody else. Like, they constantly talk about, those people and that people and those people. Like, it's a template. It's a template. And I'm always amazed that people like this have followings, but again, it actually makes all the sense in the world.
But such behavior simply attracts attention, because it is high-paced, it's blood sports, and all of those things will get your attention. And when you have attention, of course, you will get followed. I mean, it's simply natural. I wouldn't, rant so much about it. However,
do you think that the labels that you've been attached, that have been given to you, are mostly because of the Tollhouses? Calling it like that, and it sounds ridiculous.
I think there are three major reasons.
Okay, can you please, because that's what I want to talk about.
First one is the Tollhouses. Again, I do not rank these. I do not rank these as by how much I think they're problematic. I do not know. First one is the Tollhouses. Second one is that people think that I am an ecumenist because I do not use every opportunity to bash Catholic Church whenever opportunity is presented. And I do not do that because in this era of absolute apostasy, I think that it is a good thing to be a Roman Catholic, to be a Protestant, maybe even a Muslim, when everybody's falling away, and it might be preferable to being an atheist, because atheism is sort of a simple social movement once it does not gain like major momentum. And I think that what we're experiencing now is precisely the major effect of this rampant atheism, so not merely secularism, because but specifically atheism, because then if you honestly believe that there's absolutely no accountability for you, you can do anything. You can set ocean ablaze and do not
murder
care.
people.
Yeah, precisely. And that is the lens through which I see like a practicing Catholic person. Somebody, well, they're not Orthodox, they're heretic. Okay, I understand. There are heretical teachings. However, I do not like to call individual people heretics because you're losing audience instantly. And Saint Porphyrius said, "Do not do that. Like say good things. Hey, it is a good thing.
Burn them at the stake."
Classic Saint Porphyrius, not. Can you imagine him saying that? I mean, maybe some canonized emperor, Byzantine, but yeah, like say it's a good thing that you pray to God. Say it's a good thing that you read the scriptures. Say it's a good thing that you pray to saints, to Mother of God, that you help the poor. That is also the tradition that we have from early as the Desert Fathers, at the very least. Like that famous story of Saint Anthony, when he had a disciple that he was walking with a disciple, but the disciple went some distance further, and he encountered a pagan high priest. And when the subject of religion was brought up, his disciple bet up the pagan high priest. And then when Saint Anthony encountered him, oh, you poor man, let me help you. And then the pagan priest said, your words came like honey to my ears, as opposed to that horrid evil Christian. And thanks to Saint Anthony, not the guy who bet him up, that high priest became a Christian. So that is the lens through which I see the non-Orthodox, even non-Christians. I do try to see something good, even in like people like social justice warriors, misguided as their ideology may be. I still believe that is a misplaced good, in the sense of these people are willing to fight for another man. Of course, they're doing it the wrong way, but at least there is a great seed of something good buried under a lot of dust.
Personally, you've totally lost me there, but it's perfectly fine. What's number 3?
Okay, and number 3 is that I'm not a threat, in the sense of I do not want an Orthodox empire. I do live in a country whose majority is Orthodox, and I see all the lows that the church can sink into. And this is the case with every church in every country. Somewhere I've read like, oh, well, Orthodox Church isn't so easy to control like the Catholic one, because the Catholic Church you simply need to control the Pope, and here there's like tons of bishops. No. I know for a fact that in practically all of the Orthodox countries, Orthodox Church tends to be an organ of the state. It is sad, but there are many proofs of this. Like in the Bulgarian church, it turned out that the majority of the episcopate at one point was part of the secret services. In Russia, until the revolution, people, for example, priests had the obligation to report any kind of revolutionary activity that they overheard in confession.
Had to send sermons.
Yeah.
They had to send sermons to be pre-approved.
Yeah.
Share confessions. Yeah, I mean... Yeah. Okay.
But let me just finish. Then came the revolution, which of course caused tons of martyrdoms and everything. And one might think, well, Christianity again triumphed. Okay, in one part it did, but fact of the matter is the Russian state simply said, hey, it's probably more useful if we turn them into a state authority again. And this is so abundantly clear with the recent coronavirus outbreak. because this church that is supposedly hyper conservative, and it instantly mandated like separate spoons for communion, disaffecting them, and so on, which to my knowledge did not happen in any other church. You and I both know instances within our own church where there's interaction between state and church authorities which are subpar, and so on and so forth. Through that lens, people usually like to think that when there's this perfect union of church and state, and the state only brings churchy and Christian laws, while the church, like Saint Ambrose, thunders towards Emperor Theodosius until no, that does not happen. I mean, it happened a couple of times in history, but it really does not tend to happen in traditional countries. Like people often like to say, well, no saint was opposed monarchy. Well, he would not been canonized if he opposed monarchy. It's that simple. By the way, I'm not like, oh, democracy is the best. Like, no, I'm simply completely, I don't even want to call myself an anarchist, because I know that is a road that leads to hell, like directly, even though a lot of people like to find it very tempting. And I know this firsthand, proved many times over. It is always easier to criticize than to provide a constructive solution. I do not have a better model for democracy or monarchy. I mean, some good pious emperor would be good, but then again, with Saint Tsar Nicholas, we've seen that even that does not mean that the country will be run well. Then again, the best emperor we've ever had, he was the only member of Nemanjić dynasty who wasn't canonized. One of his grandchildren or great-grandchildren, Saint Uroš, bears the title the Weak. like sainthood and good governance really don't need to match up. You can have excellent emperors like Alexander II and Emperor Dusan, who were excellent emperors but not canonized, and then you have Saint Uroš and Saint Nicholas, who were saints but whose governance actually lacked a lot. However, again, in their defense, Saint Uroš was left with a very huge and unwieldy country, and Tsar Nikolai was essentially in catch-22 position. Everything that he did, whether good or bad, always backfired, and you can always see him having...
You know your history, that's nice.
No, but it was something that interests me, and I want to actually make a separate video this on Bible Illustrated Hands, which is basically this, except shortened. Or maybe you can even make a clip out of this and put it so I don't have to record it for Bible Illustrated Hands, it's easier. Okay, so there is a coronation or something, and the Romanovs don't eat food for peasants. Huzzah! However, there's a stampede. Boo, Romanovs! That's not their fault. And then, the emperor pays for burials to provide for. Huzzah, the emperor! Yeah, but he has to attend this ball with the French ambassador, or French ambassador will take it as a grave insult. So he goes to the ball, boo the Tsar, and so on. Then there's Rasputin. How can you blame them for putting trust in the man when he visibly saves your sole heir from hemophilia? How does one deal with that? By the way, Empress Alexandra, she needs to be made patron of the Orthodox converts, because she's the archetypal. There's a record that during Lent, the imperial palace consumed a lot of fish, definitely more than the fast would allow, a lot more. And I can simply imagine her but Your Majesty, no fish today, and Nicholas, kind of fish. I mean, you know, it's like when you marry a convert and they're always 20 times more devoted than you, regardless of how much you're devoted are. So, okay, and for Empress Alexandra, she goes with her daughters to tend to the wounded soldiers, and they call her, "You German beep." I'm not even going to say it. She's a saint.
But that actually happened.
Yeah, like everything that they do, it was interpreted in the worst possible way. And there's of course that unfortunate Bloody Sunday procession, march, demonstration, however you want to call it. That's
I'll give you a book.
Okay, please. That was maybe the shooting itself wasn't mandated by the Tsar, and it wasn't. But maybe he should not have left, you know, the capital while this was happening. But then again, you know, after all, we can make mistakes, and this is not like, oh well, he told everybody to shoot and then left. No, he simply left, and there was an incident which he did not anticipate, and then, you know. I mean, I do not see some sin in it in that sense. But even if there was, again, he's only flesh and blood. He's not controlled or possessed by the Holy Spirit. I mean, I myself make mistakes, and that is why I would hate to be in any position of authority, because I know that, like, all of the time, I wouldn't be making choices between good and evil, but evil and lesser evil, and you only need to find out which one is which, because at the at the moment you're making the choice, it's at all not apparent which choice is right or less bad. So yeah, that's my rant.
Yeah, I don't think it was a rant. Like, I think what I did was a textbook rant, and I did that 5 times. But yeah, so I wrote these things down. First of all, there is an assumption, right? You're assuming that people, for the lack of a better term, hate on you.
Okay, no. Let me. You asked me why I think people hate. I need to. Okay, so I'm not really like a monarchist, but that does not mean I'm like, wow, democracy, wow. No, I do not think that. However, I did make that video on Quadrano on my on my secondary channel, which was in part.
I forgot.
Yeah. Which was made in part in order to alienate his fans from my audience. So that was part of why I made it. However, as time went on, by the way, worst possible timing for those videos, I made it on like Pascha, and like I was getting tons of hate, and like, you know, I don't need this for Pascha. I really should have made this like 3 months earlier. So anyway, however, I removed those videos because, you know, as Saint Patriarch Paul said, our arguments need to be strong, and I can find those arguments. I'm certain of it, but man, I do not feel inclined to. Like, people are, why don't you read for my legionnaires? For the same reason I don't read the Book of Mormon or Mein Kampf or whatever or Satanic Bible. There's so much better things to read. Why read that one specific thing? You know.
You didn't read Oregon? Come on, how dare you? They're exclusive Orthodox.
But Oregon is a must reading if you want to really argue on Twitter.
Yeah. Like, welcome to Orthodox debates.
By the way, I think that the entire story of Oregon is like the original toxic bishop story. If you read about him, like, for example, there isn't actually any proof that he cut off his extremity. Yeah, except of his bishop accusing him of it, and his bishop hated his guts. Like a lot. Again, by the way,
there's a lot of ground to cover here.
Yeah, your turn, like that chess watch.
My as Patriarch Paul says, make your arguments strong, right?
Yeah.
So a couple of things. You started by saying that people might think you're a heretic, undermining Orthodoxy, or simply having a bad effect
Yeah.
on Orthodoxy. The
Mhm.
first thing that comes to mind if somebody's really thinking this, do you do you, do you ponder this about yourself as well? It's just a question. Think about it. Do you think about yourself and how whatever you're doing might have the same effect, especially when attacking someone? Think about that. What kind of a what kind of a what kind of a version of orthodoxy are you presenting to the world by doing what you're doing? You have that self reflection that I think is required of every Christian. So that will be a question that I'm just going to put out there and not respond to it. I can respond for myself. Whatever I've accused somebody of something, and I have. I'm like very bad in that sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Aren't we all?
yeah, exactly. Um, I do always, I do always confront myself as well, because I've seen too many people projecting, and especially projecting on me. That's when I see it, and that's when
Mhm.
it sticks. And I know that I have to be mindful of that as well, because I think it's a huge trap, for pious, normal Christians. It's a huge trap, of judging someone like that. But okay, but okay. First of all, to say that B has bad effect on Orthodoxy or is a heretic, you would have to completely disregard 95% or even more of his content, which is theologically sound, more than acceptable in Orthodox terms, which is accurate in Orthodox terms, 100%. You would have to disregard that and only focus on the things that stick, that you disagree with, and or you think challenge dogmas or are heretical in nature. So by doing that, it's exactly like finding, searching for a human hair in an egg. That's how we say it
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
Serbian, but you guys might say it's searching for a needle in a haystack. When you want to find this specific particular needle, you're gonna find it. Imagine saying somebody's a heretic. Now let's assume, right? Let's assume you think B has bad influence on over orthodoxy. B is not an Orthodox teacher. I'm gonna let that sink in. B is not an Orthodox teacher. He's not an Orthodox guru. He's not an Orthodox theologian, scholar, missionary. He is not. He talks about Orthodox topics, and every single time people come to him for advice, because people will do that when you're doing what he's doing. He always tells his opinion and always puts a disclaimer that whomever is asking this should refer to their priest. Now
I
you
mean,
tell
I,
you tell
I'm
me,
ju- I'm just a guy on YouTube. Like,
and you're saying that all the time, all the time, which is you doing the right thing, and somebody interpreting that as you having bad influence on orthodoxy. Come on.
but I'm a
and
heretic.
also and also a lot of the audience that B creates content for are non-orthodox Christians. Are you not automatically a heretic if you make content for non-orthodox Christians? If you're open to dialogue with Christians? I mean, is every dialogue with a non-orthodox Christian ecumenism? How did you convert to orthodoxy? How did you convert to orthodoxy? Did you, like, how? Did it like did it fall from the sky and you are gonna be orthodox? That's not how it happened. You had dialogue. You had dialogue. Tollhouses, ecumenist, non-traditional. At least these are our assumptions, because nobody's going. I haven't seen a single person directly actually talking about you.
Oh, I did, but that's usually like somebody who knows me and likes me, but follows other people's content or whatever. Then they counter it and they send it, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But I want to comment another thing about the Tollhouses. I do not, again, what I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not on this huge crusade against the Tollhouses. I understand why some people might call them Gnostic, and they definitely see where that's coming from, but I do not subscribe to it. I do believe that we encounter angels and demons once we die. I do believe that demons accuse us of our sins. However, I do not believe that they create this neat procedure for us, because they're slanderers and they're liars. There's this one story, I can't remember the saint, who had this conversation with demons as he was dying, and he was like, yes, I did that. No, you're lying. I never done that. And that's precisely that. Like, it's their attempt at scaring you. Like, it's not their function to present you with your sins. I also am not a huge fan of the vision of Theodora. Again, only this. Like all other divisions, I'm generally fine, but I think that there's a lot of reasons why I believe that the primary function of this text is that it is meant to scare Christians straight and to be used as a reminder for confession. I'll go quickly through why I believe that. The life is supposedly composed by a disciple of St. Basil the New, but he makes a couple of glaring historical errors when it comes to some people whom Basil supposedly have lived with, but who were dead a long time before the years that Gregory sets them to. Saint Basil the New was never. There's actually no service to Basil the New in the Greek Church, meaning that he was never canonized, which is like red flag all over. The writing itself contains a number of interesting things. For example, the figure of death as a literal creature. Again, somebody will say it's symbolic. Where does that symbolic end? That's one. Then, according to that vision, nobody knows about the Tollhouses. At one point, Theodora asks the angels, "But good sirs, why does nobody know about this and talk about it?" And they say, like, "Oh, but do they not know from the scripture? Our fight is not against the powers and principalities, is not against flesh and blood, but powers and principalities of spirits of darkness in air, or whatever that verse goes." However, I think that a more apparent reading of that verse is pretty much clear, and as St. Paul meant it, demons are all around you and you need to oppose them. In the Tollhouses, you do not fight demons. You're simply presented with after the fact, and you're either saved or damned. You do not influence your salvation there. The combat is finito for you, So that verse does not apply to the Tollhouses, and I do not know why people mention it. That is something I said in my main video in a joke, like, please don't say this. Use these things as justifications for the Tollhouses. That's also one thing. Also, according to that vision, all of the non-Orthodox are damned, like instantly. Like if you have any non-Orthodox family member, any non-Orthodox friend, unless they're lived a completely saintly life, they're damned. And
and I personally have a problem with that, which has been addressed by Patriarch Paul.
Yeah.
To very much my happiness.
Yeah.
Because I've heard, and sorry for interrupting you, by the way.
No, that's fine.
I've been speaking with some people who are not necessarily Orthodox Christian, but are Christian, as they say they are, who told me, that in the Bible, interpreting the Bible, it literally says you're only salvation is possible only if you're Christian. Actually I've read many different sermons and whatnot that confirm this, meaning they agree with that. Now, the modality of agreement with this is, if it's the Orthodox Christian Church, it's gonna be only if you're Orthodox Christian.
Yeah.
The exclusivity is depends on the denomination or whatever you call that. But I personally have a problem with that because I can't accept that. Like, my person can't accept that, and I thank God for the words of Patriarch Paul, which I've read, which have given me much comfort. Fact is, at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know of the relationship God has with non-Christians, for example. We don't know about that. You can't tell that in the last nano picosecond of somebody's life they're going to become Christian. You don't know that. You don't know that.
I have to reference this real quickly. There's a lot of stories of non-Christians getting saved. Not even like people who were like catechumens but were martyred. No, like people who are non-Christians. And the one non-Christian who did not even consider becoming a Christian is a saint in our church. And that's Saint John, the son of Saint Cleopatra, who literally prayed him out of hell. And they're commemorated in our church together. That's very interesting. Like, but again, this is the sole example that there's no other. However, in all of these stories, these people are still saved through the church, by church praying for the dead. Saint Macarius praying for the skull, even though the soul of that priest did not get saved, it felt some comfort in hell. Again, the son of Saint Cleopatra, who was saved, the soul of Emperor Trajan, who was saved, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of such examples. However,
Velikan Nikolai spoke about this.
Yeah.
And so did Father Thaddeus.
Thaddeus, yeah.
Who is that's a saint.
Yeah, the saint.
The definition of a saint. They spoke about this. And you can pray people out of hell.
Yeah, that's a huge comfort. Like,
which is like, I mean, actually, God is love, and there's a reason for you praying for somebody who is passed to be in heaven. That's a definition of love, and it goes a long way to say that it's never just the deeds or just the faith that participate in our salvation, but it's everything. It's faith, it's deeds, it's God primarily, and the church. It's everybody. It's all interconnected. So yeah, it really gives me a lot of comfort.
Yeah.
So again, sorry for interrupting you. Again, I gotta be honest with you. I'm like super bored discussing Tollhouses. Like I'm just bored.
You're telling me, but I also want to say something that everybody seems to ignore about that particular vision.
Of course, please do go on.
Okay, so non-Orthodox don't go to hell again. Very Saint Ignati Birchanino, but also. Nobody's getting saved. That's the fun part. Like, if you read what her sins are, Saint Theodora is a pretty decent nun. She like skips the fornication Tollhouses, like all three of them. Like,
never had thoughts.
I mean, it's not like that. It's not like she never had them, but she skipped them rather effortlessly. And one of the reasons she did skip not only those, but like half of the Tollhouses, so half of them, was because she had a literal saint in heaven praying very fervently for her. And it's only him. So it's never prayers of the Mother of God. It's never the prayers of her patron saint, of Saint Theodora. No, it's the prayers of her living and very saintly spiritual father. which again refers to what I have said. This is a propaganda text for the sole purpose of strengthening the ties between spiritual fathers, spiritual children, making them confess their sins more seriously, and so on. It's a propaganda text for me. I'm sorry if this offends
Yeah,
again.
there's one thing to address, if you don't mind,
Sure.
regardless of the fact if it's a propaganda text, as you call it, or
Yeah.
not, which I don't personally necessarily agree with that. I've read it. It's very colorful. It's very distinct.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, right? One of the apostles
Okay.
was shown things,
Okay.
and he didn't speak about these things
Yeah.
because he couldn't. He couldn't convey. He couldn't articulate.
Yes.
And you know, we can't understand heaven or hell or God. Really, we can't, because we are very limited. And you know that feeling when you try to understand something that's absolutely not possible for you to understand. You hit a very bad wall, and it hurts. And fact is, you can't. And passing means your soul is being detached from your body, and it exists in a different way.
True.
And imagining it coming back and then trying to convey what had happened.
Okay.
It basically means like you know, when you're recording sound, you know, there's a lot of loss. A lot of things get lost.
Yeah, true.
You know, you record a portion of it. Like, it's not a good example in terms of this, but
Okay.
whatever people who have been on the other side and back have seen, and I've read many testimonials. That's how you call it, testimonials?
Yeah, testimonies.
Testimonies of people who have supposedly and not so supposedly experienced this. And you know, read 100 of these, they're all going to be different.
Yeah, like maybe not even like there's some recurring motives, but
Yes,
very
but they're all going to be different
true.
because it happened on a different plane of existence, and it's being conveyed and articulated by a person with their specific understanding of everything now. Trust me, like the books I read, because I'm not going to go into that right now, but the kind of books I read, I collect books about saints, about wonders, about these kind of experiences. Like I can show you, like I have like 20 of them, and all, you know, Obra Svetočki.
I know. I knew.
Level of thickness of books, and the number of testimonies I've read personally. By the way, these are all bishop approved, church approved books by that church that has authority.
Yep.
So in reality, really think about these things in a qualitative way, meaning how exactly it looks like, how exactly are you going through it.
True.
I think it's not valuable enough. You're not getting value from it as a Christian, as a person. I don't see that helping you being better, you know, in fulfilling the commandments, in being a loving creature, showing love to your neighbor, which is something we all fail, people. Every day. Every time you get mad at someone, you've just failed. And just imagine how many times you get mad or think something bad about someone. Come on, we're feeling this on a daily basis. And, you know, I always go back to, well, God, who can be saved then? And Jesus Christ responds that many things are impossible for humans, but are possible for God. So God is that crucial component in our salvation. The condition, the absolutely necessary condition of our salvation.
Mhm.
And that being said, if you constantly think about sin in that way, in that very formal way, the toll house of fornication, let's see, category fornication, 15,000 different fornication sins.
Yeah, but they're sort of easier to organize now that they have porn categories.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, right? Is is that the way to be an Orthodox Christian? Really? You should speak to your priest about that. Just to go back very quickly, Tollhouses, ecumenist, non-traditional. I don't consider myself an ecumenist, for example, as you know.
Yep.
But I'm generally absolutely have nothing against people who are not Orthodox Christians.
Nothing effective.
99% of my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I did, well, 99, okay, it's a bit less now, but I grew up an atheist. Like, I converted to Christianity, to Orthodoxy, from being an atheist in 2007. It's been more than a decade, but, you know, I've had many friends before then. Hey, we're still friends. It didn't change because I became an Orthodox Christian. I mean, you should talk to them. That would be a fun conversation. The way they see my conversion and me becoming a Christian, it's actually very fun. We talk about that very, very often.
Actually, we might do an episode about that.
Sure. And then you mentioned, like, yeah, I do see that as well. People kind of bashing on other denominations and being like, these are heretics, this is heresy, being very, like, harsh. I mean, right, that's how you know, you should hammer your opinions into somebody's head. You should hammer your beliefs into somebody's head. How does that make you different from any social justice warrior, you know, proclaiming their woke?
It's easy. We have the truth.
Yeah, so let's nail the truth in somebody's forehead. Think about that. Like, the church never did that. The Christian Orthodox Church never did that. You might mix us up with Catholics there. Whoa, low-key burn.
There was nothing low-key about that.
And finally, non-traditional in terms of
governance.
Governance, yeah. I'm a fan of monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I despise quote-unquote democracy. But you know, you and I are kind of belong to two different currents in Serbia in general. Yours being what I think they call the građanska Serbia, the citizen.
Citizen Serbia, but it really does not convey the meaning.
And I'm like the other guys, the peasant nationalist kind of Serbia, you know, and people are different, you know. People like different things. You know, Jesus Christ never talked about monarchy, you know, explicitly. You know, not including, you know, pay tax to the emperor. That doesn't mean there's always going to be an emperor. Nor does it mean that, you know, emperor is the best thing. I think these are opinions, right? And I tend to agree with that particular opinion. I'm all for monarchy, but I don't see it happening at all. I think monarchy has yielded both great and not so great people. I'm not a fan of the monarchies of Western Europe because of the fruits of their colonization and everything they did, including crusades and whatnot. I don't like those monarchies. I prefer these that we've had in these areas, which were.
Oh, by the way, just for summary,
freedom loving, which went to war for freedom.
Yeah.
Didn't go to war to conquer others and plunder, which is exactly what Western European countries did.
Mhm.
You know, you did.
True. But I just want, I think we mentioned this in like 5 episodes, but it is never too late to mention it again. Uh, Serbs are a huge fan of like Nemanjić dynasty. Like in Western Europe, it's very, I mean, me too.
They are my ancestors, man,
Yeah, of course.
and probably 90% of people.
Like they're related to you.
Yeah, we went
Doubt.
through. No, but like I have like the family tree. I'll show you. I'll show you. It's fun. Like Dad really went through a lot of trouble to get that information.
No. Actually, I imagine him getting like DNA tested with a reliquary from the church.
No, you know how
we
you do
have
this.
the technology. We can rebuild him.
You know how you do. You know how you do this research. Like there's professional people.
Yeah. I know. No.
They mostly
They're called
visit
Mormons.
monasteries.
They're called Mormons. People who know what Mormons do will get the joke.
Yeah.
You not so much.
The monasteries actually contain records with family trees, and these guys will go for a hefty sum, like 2,000 euros or something, and dig out every single piece of information and actually, show you this. But I'll show you. Like Dad is actually writing a book.
Okay.
About our ancestry. So we can wait for the book as well.
Sure, but I imagine like I do the test and like, sir, you're 99.99 related, yes, to a historical person, yes,
Hitler.
Saint Basil the New. I'm like, awkward.
Why? Come on.
I had to.
I mean, you see, that's why many people dislike you, I think, because...
Oh, boo-hoo.
Because it's like you tend to go too far, and not everybody appreciates that kind of humor. Which is perfectly fine. People have the right to not appreciate something.
No. That's right. But I'm imagine like Dread Judgment and Christ condemning an orthobro. You did not show love to Bible Illustrated, and then you can hear me from hell.
That's the kind of joke only you can think of, because you're...
Imagine the irony.
Can't help yourself. What's an orthobro? What is an orthobro?
An Orthodox person on Twitter.
So I'm an orthobro.
Sir, sadly you are, and it's inoperable.
Regarding you haven't shown love to Bible Illustrated. I would advise everybody to watch the 3 stories, and specifically the story where
there's that one. I forgot about
Christ tells a woman that he's going to visit her on a given afternoon, and she prepares a wonderful lunch.
Yeah.
She prepares everything to perfection, and in the process denies like 3 beggars or something. A woman with a child. And then Christ appears to her and says, "You see that woman with the child? That's the Theotokos, and the child, that's me." Go watch that story. And ponder it a little bit. The fact is, you don't know in which form Christ will appear to you, and how, by serving others, you're actually serving Christ. But don't serve a heretic, because...
And that is how that mentality goes. Oh, good. He's a heretic. I do not need to show him basic courtesy.
Burn him at the stake. I'll join a debate if it's not a theological debate. If I'm an Orthodox Christian layperson, very traditional, probably more traditional than you. You meaning the person watching this video, probably more traditional. Again, willing to put that on a scale. And here, convince me that my friend is a heretic. Convince me that my friend has bad influence to Orthodox Christianity. Convince me that. Go. I'll give you my phone number.
Okay, I won't be participating in that debate for just for for apparent reasons. No. You know what would be better? Like, you message me, hey, somebody's calling me from the United States. Get back at you later. And like, there's nothing for an hour, and then I realized that you blocked me everywhere.
He was convinced.
No. Oh, buddy, I will always remain in here.
Ah, yes. It's a brilliant little cartoon.
And we're going to add it at the end of this episode.
No, we'll link it. I'm not adding. I'm not gonna.
No. I didn't mean to add it like afterwards, but
oh my gosh,
it.
how long did I rant? Look at the time.
I did draw something during your rant.
Can you? I can't see that.
No, it reverses, but it's like Journal of Jonathan Harker, like the main protagonist of Dracula, and like contrasting it with letters of Mina and Lucy. I will post it very soon.
Look, I needed to rant about this.
Fine.
So I apologize to
me, because I'm going to absorb all of the hate.
you think you're gonna take the heat for this conversation?
Of course.
Okay, why don't people just take it on me? Who am I to you?
But you're not the Bible illustrated guy in the sense of you're like a trad Orthodox something.
Yeah, I'm a traditional Orthodox. I've participated in at least 3 of your videos.
And maybe even as much as 6. But still, me. That is not how people work.
Look, I have zero, thought that I'm gonna change somebody's opinion. Or that my arguments, are gonna change somebody's opinion.
Mm.
But if somebody just takes a little tiny second to wonder about the things that we talked about here, maybe something changes. I don't know.
If we
threw it out there.
Yeah, if we save one life, it's worth a year of worldwide lockdowns.
No.
And closed churches and interrupted chemotherapies. Oh God. Okay, I should not have said that.
You should not. But the point is, really honestly, my personal opinion about Orthodox Christians is we are truth-loving people. We seek the truth. That's how I got to Orthodoxy. I sought truth. And if we are really truth seekers, because what did God say? I'm the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Besides other things, if you're truth seeking, you are God seeking. It's very clear.
Yeah.
Very clear. So if anybody watching this will just take the time to ponder for the sake of seeking truth, meaning seeking God, I implore you to do so. Do so. Find flaws in whatever we've said, whatever I've said. Find flaws in it. Debunk. Whatever. Dethrone. Expose. Whatever.
Distract. No, make a distract. Oh, distract.
Whatever. Annihilate. But wonder. Think about it. It doesn't cost you anything. Do a bit of reflection. Think about how your content, how your words, how your deeds, how your actions, what kind of a trace they leave, what kind of a impact they leave on the world, and then compare that with what B over here, how B over here influences whatever
Uh,
Christianity, Orthodoxy,
yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Okay, but I. Okay, but maybe we shouldn't compare her to me, but to Christ. I
No, no, no.
mean,
I'm speaking to people
ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-da.
who talk bad about you because those people banned you from that uh, Discord, and those people are Orthodox Christians.
Okay, okay, but like, I'm not going to make a big deal out of this banning. Bam, 3 hour podcast
I
episode.
made a big but it's
No, no,
big
no,
deal
no.
to me.
Okay,
It's the
again,
first
fine.
Orthodox Discord I've joined, and within the first hour of me joining, that happened.
Like first hour, first 5 minutes. They were very expedient, I must say.
That's ridiculous.
Oh well.
That's ridiculous.
Oh
Imagine
well.
that. Look, look. The kind of seeds you put in, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of fruit you're gonna get. You must know that. You must know that. And if that is a good seed, fair enough.
For all of my haters, I highly suggest the Nicodemean approach to myself. If what I'm doing is from God, it will persevere. If it's not, God will destroy it. So there's that.
If at any time you go too far away with your humor, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get like a lightning directly into your
No.
brain.
I have you. I have shout out Orthodox Pilgrim who sometimes messages me like, "Go, this is too far." And I'm like, "Oh, you're right, you're right." Like delete and everything. I apologize. Yeah. So yeah, God does not need yet to send me thunderbolts because like when somebody approaches me with basic cordiality and says like, "Hey, I think you went too far," I'm always like, "Okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll edit, remove whatever if I think that's."
Yeah, I've actually witnessed you delete something which you were perfectly fine with because it created. I don't know. I don't remember what that was. It was
I
it was
do.
it was a meme or something in
Yeah, yeah.
very poor taste.
It
Uh,
wasn't in Fortes. It was hilarious.
to me, it was very bad. But I would never ask you to take it, to delete it.
I mean, you could have. I mean,
But I wouldn't care. I could have just told you this is in poor taste, but that's it. But I remember people making an entire drama over it on Twitter, and then you're removing it because you don't want people to, feel bad about that.
well, yeah, I didn't want people to feel scandal and so on. So, and people still talk about it like, oh wow, no.
Yeah, now I'm gonna be a little bit bad and say, sorry, I left your community
What?
on Discord, talking to Discord admins, whoever these guys are.
Oh no. I'll invite you to Digital Discord. They're great.
Sure. I was very disappointed as a traditional Orthodox Christian. I was extremely disappointed with the way you've handled this and with the fact that you did absolutely nothing to remedy it, which tells me, we have a saying here in Serbia, the fish stinks from the head.
Oh, do you feel it?
And you are the head of this
Ish.
this forum. I keep calling it the forum. I mean, it is, in a sense, but of the Discord channel, and I simply couldn't partake. So my apologies for that. But my opinion of you is not really on a high level, because of what you did.
Oh wait, who are you talking about?
I call upon your conscience, your truth seeking, which is God seeking, to reconsider that. Nobody needs an apology.
Yeah, no.
That's not Christian. Nobody needs that. But for your sake, reconsider what you did. That's all I'm gonna say. You can absolutely dismiss me as just a guy from the internet. I might do the same. I might have done the same if I was in your shoes. Feel free to do so. Absolutely perfectly fine. Just normal. I considering that I kind of got mad at you. I'm still talking to the admins.
Yeah, yeah.
Considering the fact that I got mad at you, I'd love to be able to get your names so that I can pray for you, because I don't want my bad energy to.
No, he wants to expose you to the bishop. Don't do it.
Just first names or your
PO box number, your credit card number, and the security code on the back of the card.
I think people overseas, they tend to have like different names on christening.
Yeah.
So give me that name. Give me that name. Just send it to me. churchmouse.show@gmail.com is our email. If you would be so kind to send me your emails, I will include you in my fairly short but honest list of people whom I pray for. That's all I'm gonna.
Hey, free prayer.
Yeah, free prayer. Free prayer, but honest. Not like, God, please destroy this forum.
Oh no! You know what were my favorite? Passive aggressive prayers. Oh Lord, please forgive this person who's banned us. Forgive them their trespass. If I must suffer in their stead, let it be so. But please forgive.
That's a terrible prayer.
Oh, that's horrible. That's
but I'll tell you this: if I think I have enemies, which happens from time to time, Psalter.
Oh yeah.
Like you just read the Psalms and
bash their children against the rock.
Don't worry, guys. I will definitely not think of you when I read the Psalms. Pinky promise.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Like, I'm gonna introduce him to my prayer. God, please forgive B for his humor. He can't help himself.
Like a demon at the Tollhouse, and there's like a mountain of papers, and the demon simply like takes one paper and throws it away. And there's a forklift with the next batch. Bam.
Let me tell you something about God's forgiveness.
Okay.
God's forgiveness means forgiveness.
Wow. I'm going to put that on a mug.
I would never think God's forgiveness is, God, I have 2 sins. Can you please forgive me this one?
Of course, I know.
That's not forgiveness. God forgives, and there's a dot, like God forgives. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would say, forgive B for his humor, it's not like, just
one sin.
Little bit, just that, because there's most certainly more than that. Just like with everybody else, we are human. We are who we are.
When I was smaller, I once read that it was believed in medieval times that whenever time you kill a spider, God forgives you 40 sins. I need to confess killing all those spiders. So yeah.
Did you really kill spiders?
I did. Like
can I ask you a question? Do you think like killing mosquitoes one should confess?
No. Because I think if one has in his power to destroy all of the mosquitoes worldwide, it's still not a sin.
I have to. Like, why there's no mosquitoes?
Kill them all.
You know what? Why there's no mosquitoes in China?
Everyone killed their own. I know. I like that. Like a delegation from Montenegro comes to China, and Chinese are like, "Who are you? We're from Montenegro. Where's that in Europe? How many are there of you? 200,000. What hotel are you staying in?"
You know, my dad told me an anecdote
Mhm.
from the market. He went to the market in Shenzhen,
Okay.
and and this is like true data. At the time, there were 1 million people in that market. 1 million people. Like imagine any of our like markets. You know, like green market. Like there's like a couple of hundred people tops,
Yeah.
and imagine 1 million. First, imagine how big that place is, how crowded it is, and how dangerous it is.
Like with Corona.
No, I'm not discussing Corona until it's gone. I'm not discussing that.
Forever.
I'm not discussing that because there's too much aggression
Mm,
over too many topics about COVID.
true.
And I'm no longer addressing that. I'm not doing it.
Okay, fine.
But when it's done, another rant video.
Okay, fine.
huge rant video. Again, my personal apologies to our audience for myself allowing
And to me,
to our audience for allowing what you might perceive as bad energy, but you're just seeing me very passionate about something, maybe for the first time. But that's
Okay.
actually me. Actually.
actually,
In the next episode of
Church Fruit Chronicles.
Orthodox Hate Dismemberment.
No, like after we see the comments of this episode, like we remove this one and we start like, we would like to apologize to all of the Orthodox everywhere. You know those super fake YouTube
No,
apologies.
the problem is, and what triggered me, to be quite honest with you, somebody's calling you a heretic, then I'm a heretic by affiliation, and that's like not cool.
Not if you break the affiliation.
And yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna bring my army of brothers and sisters from church to fight this fight if need be. The way this fight should be fought, which is by prayer and fasting.
Okay, ominous. Okay, that's really taking this drama to the next level.
No, that's how you do things if you're an Orthodox Christian. If
That's
you're
true.
bothered by something, you pray on it, you fast on it. Because if you're
No,
bothered by
you hate on
something,
it. It's easier.
if you're bothered by something, at least as much as I'm bothered with this, there is a group of demons at work somewhere.
Not true.
Is it with me or is it with you?
Why not
Nobody
both?
knows. Maybe, probably both.
Okay, we should make this into like a jingle.
Yeah, to each their own.
No,
demon.
no, no. Oh, we should probably make this into a like intro opening jingle or something. It will be great.
No, you know the ten Mad Pirates song.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, we'll turn that into 10 Mad Orthodox Christian song.
True.
Don't be
Thanks,
mad.
Sam.
For what?
Don't be mad. Stay sad.
Chad.
Nice.
Thank you for what? For defending you?
No, for
But I just confessed I was defending myself, really.
Oh wow! Such
Oh,
a wow! Such a brave spirit you are.
I've written everything. Look, dogma.
Why does not your cam reverse? And mine does.
Because you turned on show camera in mirror. You can turn it off in settings.
No, I want to be angry now.
Okay, what do you want?
Then,
I don't know. When do you want it? No.
I'll just fast and pray for my cam because I hate it so much.
Bye.
Bye.